On episode 3, now we're starting to really get into the nitty-gritty of the crime, and we're on a clock now. After 72 hours, the chance of a child who's kidnapped being alive are very slim and getting slimmer.
Luckily for us, Brad has written this sense of urgency throughout every script. Things are always happening.
At my core, I'm a character writer, and the crime element allows me to tell character stories, but in a way that are really heightened and exciting still.
Do we need a search warrant?
Episode 3 kicks into the first time you see the team in action. And that's where Sally really comes in. She really wanted to do the action stuff.
They seem like they would be fun, and at times they are. But they're a lot of work, there are a lot of pieces, and a lot of planning go into the sequences.
David, who is the chief of police in East Town, who's the technical advisor on our show, he had us do mock house raids.
Good on left?
Yep. He would hide an AD in a room and we would have to find them.
It sort of feels like you're a child, like you're running around the house with these plastic guns and screaming, "Fuck!"
And we had to learn how to work as a team. It was a really good team-building exercise for us.
Aaliyah, sit with her, build a rapport, and see if you get her to talk.
Up until that point, the other task force members have no clue what she's about. She's completely closed off. During the interrogation with Shelley, I don't even think that she intentionally tries to use it to win Shelley over. It's just coming from a person who's a survivor talking to a current victim of domestic violence. By opening up to Shelley, she essentially is letting Lizzie into a part of herself that the others aren't aware of.
I know that shame.
Lizzie's trying to remain professional. She's actually uncomfortable initially because of the gravity of her story. Ultimately, she's in awe of her resilience and her bravery. And I think, in a way, Lizzie sees Aaliyah clearer.
Suddenly, I can't breathe. Sally directed this interrogation scene. You can see that she is an actress first by her understanding of what it takes to give out an emotional performance and not overexert.
I would like to say that I did all this work with Tuso on that scene, but Tuso was ready. As an artist, her feelings are always accessible.
Jay, feds are here.
Jason, who's managed to ascend within the ranks quite quickly, now finds his authority or his rise threatened. And Perry has come in to help him navigate the situation.
Something we can help you with?
I always saw it as like Perry's the lion tamer and Jason's the lion. He's just about keeping him in line his whole life. But Jason is ultimately a very unhinged character, and his true self is ultimate chaos.
Perry's not embarrassed about what's happening on his watch. He's concerned with what's going on. I think he just feels like, all right, something's happened, something goes wrong, as things do. Why is it happening? Who's causing it? What do we do about it? How do we fix it? Boom, that's it. But then there's also the compassion of who winds up being involved in all that and what the repercussions of that is or can be.
What's the matter with you?
You fucked us! Easy, 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 easy. Take a walk.
Erin's motivation for betraying her husband in the dark arts is that Erin was in love with Billy. And for her own survival, Erin has to be with her husband, but obviously she's not happy with that.
Our plan is working.
I don't give a fuck about our plan no more.
This is what Brad does such a beautiful job of, and I think it's why we care for all these characters.
I loved him.
Brad's writing people who are just trying their best to survive in a hard world with some rough circumstances.
That scene in the car when Robbie confesses and tells Maeve everything, she's very angry because he's ultimately ruined her life. But I think she also feels an immense sense of sadness because she knows that he's ruined his own life.
The hell is the matter with you?
Maeve is a character that is dealing with a lot of trauma and resentment that she never asked for in her life, and she's constantly asked to deal with it.
I spent my whole life trying to get away from these people.
They murdered my brother. To even be able to show up for material like that, to understand how to play it, which she does beautifully.
And don't act like some kind of martyr.
Not acting like a martyr.
Because even if you did dare for the kids,
why.
they're now going to spend the rest of their lives without their father.
It was incredible to film those scenes with Amelia. She is a very impressive actor.
Maeve, you're the only family I got left.
That was a very powerful and emotional scene for me and Tom to do because there's so many mixed emotions and so much being said, and she has so much love for him. Tom and I gave each other a big hug after, and we were like, oh my God, we've just been crying and screaming for 7 hours.
DJ Crossing Nova.
Horrendous. Weirdly, I always felt like Grasso saw a lot of his mother in Lizzie. There's a familiarity there that I think happens very, very quickly for Grasso, where in spite of herself, she's so likable to him. And then he sees her kind of struggling and he feels for her and understands that feeling in a way that not how he is, but he's been around that enough.
The barracks will be just fine without you. That's true.
I think in the beginning she finds him terribly annoying, but I actually think it's because they kind of have similar temperaments and they come from a similar background, but he starts to reach out to her quite a bit. I think she doesn't have a lot of support and connection in her life and is really seeking that.
Hello, everybody. Today I want to toast one of the good ones, Lizzie Stover.
What happened? He was assaulted earlier. Is that a career fear?
Ah, for Christ's sake.
It's very complex, but we come to find out Tom is so angry that he's having a very hard time coming to terms with wanting Ethan to ever leave prison.
I don't want him here.
Tom is not only dealing with the grief, but now he's got these 2 children who are on opposite sides of the fence, and he's kind of in between this tug of war.
Emily is heartbroken because of that statement. Maybe even a little manipulated because her dad is not having these conversations with her.
What am I gonna do, you know?
Ethan has an enormous heart. He really is unable to forgive himself, and I think that's why Emily is going through such extents to take care of him and forgive him. Her and Ethan came as a unit. So if they don't want Ethan back home, does that mean that maybe they don't want her at home as well? I think she's like really conflicted for what that means for her and for their family.
Silvio was our gem. Took us so long to cast someone in her role because you needed someone who had this great vulnerability but could go to different places. And it was just important for us to understand what that backstory was for Mark too. Because what Brad has designed here is that it's not just a detective story. It is about these families and what's going on emotionally with the backdrop of all the craziness and the crime.